Hi, this is Karen Wright. This evening I am going to speak with you briefly in reference to differentiation in the classroom. So in this PowerPoint we'll discuss differentiation. That's a hard word to say, for me anyway. But my first question was, well, what is it? How is it used in today's classroom? We're going to highlight a few of the 7 basic principles of how we learn. Not all 7, but we'll touch on some of them. And then we'll discuss a summary in layman's terms. Differentiation, as described by Carol Tomlinson, is instruction that accommodates the different ways that students learn. It also involves a healthy dose of common sense, as well as sturdy support in theory and research of education. Differentiation and a few of the 7 basic principles of how we learn. Well, number 1, everyone's brain is uniquely organized. Some students prefer to learn alone in a quiet environment. That would be me. Other students prefer to learn in groups, sharing ideas of participants within a group, and I suppose that could be me at some time. Some are auditory learners and learn by listening intently, and others still are hands-on learners, and they learn by doing best. These are what you call the tactical learners or the kinesthetic learners. And these are just a few of the examples of what we'll call our learning profile. Now, the brain is a lean pattern-making machine. We'll talk about the frontal lobe, and that's located directly behind the forehead, and that frontal lobe determines if incoming information is meaningful for the individual. The frontal lobe also looks for patterns to create meaning. The brain's frontal lobe directs activity in the brain, for example, covert thinking. Covert thinking brings information together to solve a problem that has a single solution. You'll find that some people are thinking all of the time. Divergent thinking, however, generates creative ideas and explores different ways to solve a problem. That's a little bit more of what I can relate with. Learning for retention. Learning for students must include the following. It must be meaningful for students. If it isn't meaningful, students will not retain the information. The more meaningful learning is, the more engaged students will become. And when a learning objective lacks meaning, students will divert to an activity that is more stimulating. Differentiation tailors activities to meet students' needs, which maintains attention, focus, and retention. So some of our final points. In summary, differentiation can best be described as a tell, show, do method of teaching. This is what I use in my environment when I'm working with community organizations. Tell students, use that auditory learning that students have. Tell them the importance of the learning tool. Show students visually the importance of how a task or tool can be used to enhance learning. And then allow students to do or apply the hands-on of their newly learned skill set. The overall goal of differentiation is to teach in a way that advocates active planning for student differences within the classroom. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you and have a good evening.